This podcast is brought to you by absolutely no one. We have no sponsors and no one cares. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mates podcast. I am Matthew here with my wonderful co-host and best friend,
Callum. Do I get to do the intro next time?
Do you want to do the intro?
No,
we can
no,
do the
no,
intro.
no.
No, I want you to do the intro.
No, next time.
Next
baby.
time, okay, next time, baby. Okay, so yes, Cal. Well, I'll let you do the outro. I will keep this in because it's good. Yeah, Cal, tell us what we're going to be discussing today.
Well, we were initially planning on a science fiction episode, which we will absolutely get to. But I just felt that we had enough content just to cover with these two films that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, as usual, obviously know by the title, Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't watched these films, like they're not from my childhood or anything, you know, I've only watched them as a 17-year-old, so...
Yesterday,
yeah, both of them yesterday. I had started Blade Runner like a few years ago, got half an hour through, and I was just like, it's probably not for me, but looking back now with an older perspective, like, it's really good. How about yourself?
We'll talk about
17-year-old?
Well, I saw it for the first time 2 years ago.
Okay.
So when I was but a 15-year-old babby.
Yeah.
But yes, I loved the film, and we will get on to why.
Absolutely. Just to preface this episode, we'd like to thank everyone who has recently subscribed and liked, and yeah, we'll continue to get these podcasts out for you guys.
As best we can.
As best we can. Now, episode after this will probably be musicals.
Musicals,
Musicals, yes, episode 12.
And our boy Thomas, we're doing High School Musical 1.
Yep, don't be shy, it's all good. So yeah, do you want to take us through Blade Runner 2049, 1982 release?
It's from 1982, but the version we're talking about today was released in 2007.
Okay.
We are talking the final cut.
Full spoilers?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Full spoilers.
Okay.
So we're talking about the final cut because from what I've seen of the theatrical cut, this is superior in every sense.
What is different? Is the theatrical cut have audio commentary?
It does indeed have voiceover by Harrison Ford.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I sort of wish we should watch that as like a.
We definitely should watch it one
style.
day, but he hates it so much.
Does he?
Yeah. Apparently,
It's one of his most successful films, not box office wise, but critically.
Yeah. I mean, he's apparently made peace with the film and with Ridley Scott after the release of the final cut, but he hated the film when it came out. And he had such a painful experience doing the voiceover, which you can tell by listening to it.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know why Roy saved my life, but I guess
the director didn't know what he was doing.
I'll go bang the robot now.
That's one of the weirdest romances in any film I've ever seen.
We
like
will
Deckard and
absolutely
Rachel.
talk about it.
I
I just wanted to know, Matthew, did you have any idea what was going on?
I'll be honest, it's a little foggy.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to note is that how strange this film is to be set this year. Like, it's set in 2019, which I found out on
Yeah, it's very
Wikipedia.
interesting.
And
You didn't tell that by the
Set in
title card that says Los Angeles 2019?
I forgot. But I just find it weird. Like, do you think this film goes out of its way to present a sci-fi world that it's going to be very different from 2019, or do you think Ridley Scott goes out of his way to say, is what I think 2019 is going to be like?
I don't know that anyone truly believes that their future projections will come true.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only 37 years. It was 37 years ago. So do you think 37 years from now we'll have flying
I'm
cars?
trying to, like, they would obviously have to pick a year that would probably be accurate for the sort of technology they're using. I mean, obviously Ridley Scott probably thinks, yeah, I could see replicants in a 2019 world. Otherwise, he wouldn't have picked the date. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have gone further
Yeah,
into the future.
But
It kind of covers your bases.
Yeah, true.
Because
Very true.
I've seen people scrutinize, film futures that are wrong,
Mhm.
and this is one that is unfortunately wrong. Because a lot of the technology I would be interested to see,
Yes, absolutely.
but I wouldn't exactly want to live in the world that they present.
No, definitely not. It seems a dark universe. So.
Yeah. So I feel like to understand a lot of this film, you need knowledge before you see it, which is very rare.
It is one of those yeah, it definitely is one of those films where you sort of have to know an idea of the themes it's just sort of talking about and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not normal that you need context for a film before you see it.
I also think this film, you need to be a certain age to appreciate it.
Yes.
100%. Like, I wouldn't usually say that about a film.
Well, it is a certificate 15, Matthew.
It is. Very true. We do like to abide by the guidelines. But, I mean, even some of the themes and, like, it discusses in social commentaries. Like, I have a point here, it's a social commentary on minority groups, maybe. With
Perhaps.
the replicants. I don't know if that's a common theme. But yeah,
It's not one I noticed, but yeah, I suppose with them being used as sort of off-world slave labor
hmm
and them being looked down upon by the rest of society.
yeah,
Yeah,
certainly
I suppose it's a interesting viewpoint, my friend.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, I think stylistically this set the tone for pretty much every science fiction film that followed it.
Yes, it's very horror-esque, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, it is. Especially the opening credits. I
Yes.
find to be horror-esque.
I think the action as well, like it certainly is paved the way for, as you say, like so many science fiction movies, and also introduced like a horror element that we haven't really seen in many sci-fi films before. Like there's one scene where it's like Batty versus Deckard,
Yes.
which is a great scene. But yeah, I just really like the action in this, as limited as it is. You know,
Yeah.
it is an action, as you said. Like we were talking about this before the podcast, but it's an action movie without any action.
Yeah, it's sporadic, but moments of brilliance.
Absolutely. Couldn't
For
agree
example,
more.
it's a very small moment, but where Leon slaps the gun out of
Yes.
Deckard's hand, you know, it's just such a split-second moment,
Mhm.
and I really respect the filmmaking on that.
Absolutely.
I would say that this is probably my favorite film score.
Really?
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
it's beautiful.
I prefer 2049's.
Really,
Yeah. I
that's
thought.
that's Junkie XL, isn't it, for 2049?
Yeah, but 2049 had sort of like. Oh, maybe I did put it in this. I definitely had somewhere the piano-like score was good. Somewhere it must have been. Oh, sorry. Yes, it is here. I have great piano score during the someone else's memories scene. You know,
Okay.
which is fantastic. And yeah, I mean the score is fantastic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did it win any awards? The score did.
I'm not sure, Matthew.
We'll have to look
We'll,
into
we'll
it.
research that after.
We will.
If you want to just jump into the actual linear storytelling,
Absolutely, yeah.
I think the guy at the beginning is a piss poor interviewer. He asks such leading questions. He's like, you flipped the tortoise over. You want it to die.
Is this a bit where I think it's Rachel's like, is this testing whether I'm a lesbian or a replicant, Mr. Deckard?
No, this
This
is
is a later, but that's
that,
later,
that
isn't it?
that's later. This is the first scene where
Okay.
the guy's being tested, and he's like,
He
what's
wanted
a tortoise? Do you know what a turtle is? Yeah, same thing.
yeah, true. Yeah, he's not a very good interviewer. He's not very good at
No,
his job, is he?
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
I mean, I was so happy when he got shot.
Yeah.
I was absolutely rooting for it.
You're just like,
I was like, yes. I wanted to ask you, is Harrison Ford a good actor? He seems unenthused
Well,
in every role he does.
one thing I will say about Harrison Ford, especially in this film, I think he's got a very limited wheelhouse. I'm not saying like I'm the best actor ever. I'm terrible, but like I think Harrison Ford's wheelhouse is incredibly narrow. Wherein
He just
he
plays
can only
dickheads.
play like a stern, like past his prime, like action hero sort of.
Okay.
That's all I can see with you know, with even Han Solo in the later Star Wars films, and also Indiana Jones. Like I think he just plays like an action hero who like doesn't want to do it, but is reluctant to, you know, be a hero. It is a bit cliche, isn't it? But
Yeah.
then this film did sort of start like many cliches and stuff, which
Yeah.
why I think it is probably ahead of its time.
Mm.
But yeah, there's some moments in the film where I'm just like, that line delivery, oh, it's dodgy.
Well, I need to let you listen to some of the voiceover later.
Is it real bad?
It's
Is it?
it's hilarious.
Okay.
I can't wait to show you. I want to talk about that scene where Rachel is interrogated because she says, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And I'm like, man, it's like, are you that desperate for it?
Yeah, like
I don't understand.
I mean,
that.
I don't know whether it's like, are they supposed? Is that another social commentary on addiction? Probably not. It seems like a throwaway line.
Yeah, I think it's just, ooh, what's cool visual?
Do you find it interesting, you know, that the sort of tech companies have made replicants so lifelike that they have the desire for like their own memories and like something as simple as a cigarette? I think it's
Well, yeah, I mean, Rachel didn't even know that she was a replicant.
yeah, that's what I mean.
So,
Like,
yeah.
it is. I don't know if you've heard of the Fallout games.
Yes.
Yeah, but like it's really similar to the synths in Fallout 4. Like they don't know, some synths don't know that they're actually synths.
I don't. Tyrell never actually explains why he chose to do that, though.
I know it is strange.
You know, he wanted their motto is, of course, more human than
Yeah,
human.
Yeah.
But I don't see why not knowing that you're a replicant makes you more human. It doesn't really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in a biological sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand his motivation for that. Replicants are illegal, so I understand why Deckard doesn't retire Rachel because he obviously has feelings for her. But why doesn't he just arrest Tyrell?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the other members of the LAPD catch wind that she's a replicant, and they, say to Deckard that he has to retire her. So why doesn't he at least arrest Tyrell?
Yeah, like, it seems weird. Like, you don't have to even, kill him. Just arrest him.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, that is weird. I never thought about that. Oh, that is a weird plot hole, I guess.
Mm.
But the actress who plays Rachel's great, I think.
Is she?
I think she's good. Although, I think there is something, like, about old films, like, 1980s, where, like, the mic quality is terrible.
Oh, the sound quality is so horrible.
It's
Yeah.
real bad. But, like, I think that sort of ruins the line delivery. I think
With her and Roy Batty especially, the line delivery is ruined by the sound quality.
I don't know what it is. I haven't seen many films from the 80s, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't remember them all being that, like, I'm not saying our mic quality is good,
No.
but, like, that, like, roughly
I mean, have you seen Rocky?
is it bad?
It's horrible, yeah.
You went to see it? Did you?
Not the film, the sound quality, by the way. It is a good film, but yeah, I saw it in the cinema recently, and even today and that was it, like cleaned up the
Yeah.
audio, and it was still horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Young. I think she took the brief of robot too far, because she's meant to be a robot that doesn't, a replicant that doesn't know she is one.
She's a replicant,
So
yeah.
why is she delivering lines so robotically?
Yeah, it's as if Ridley Scott was like, okay, you're playing a replicant who doesn't know you're a replicant. Put on a robot voice. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not in the context of the film, though. To me anyway.
Yeah.
Just a slight. Oh no, what?
Oh, I can cut this bit out.
Okay. With such technological advancements, why does Earth look like such a trash place to live?
I think it's essentially, like, urban. Is the right word
It just
for
seems like.
It just seems like everything's just so, like, trash.
Yeah, and surely if you can create organic material to create replicants, you can create, or like fake food.
Yeah.
Because it just looks so povertous and horrific.
It does seem like, it reminds me of the shot in Black Panther where they sort of like, it is a weird comparison, but like, when T'Challa and, I don't know what her name, I forget her name, but like are walking in the slums of Wakanda,
Yeah.
is that the right term? I did sort of remember like that, because it is like, for want of a better term, like a shanty town, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sort
I
of.
suppose, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is just a weird. Maybe that's another like social commentary that these like big conglomerate businesses and tech companies are like thriving when like people in the street are like living amongst trash,
Yeah, I suppose. I was just wondering, why does Tyrell implant Rachel with such horrific memories?
Yeah, not even happy memories, just
No,
like
and
dreadful
they're
ones.
from his niece.
Yeah, like
And
that's a weird thing to do, isn't it?
yeah,
Like
it's like. Also, I hope that you put a stop to like the weird goings on in your niece's house.
I have another weird thing about Tyrell to mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's quite later on in the film.
Oh, is it?
But yeah,
Okay.
that's a weird one. But yeah, I mean, Tyrell's just a weird guy.
Yeah,
A real
a
weird
total
guy.
creep. He's like, oh, my nephew showed my niece his penis. Let's put that in, Rachel.
She'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's weird.
1,000 spiders eating their mama. Get it in there.
What do you think of all the other replicants, like Zora and stuff?
Is that her name?
I think it's like Zahora,
Okay.
Zora and Pris and stuff. Like,
I don't really like them other than Roy.
yeah, Roy probably has the best scenes.
Yeah, I think Pris just pisses me off. If I'm honest.
Prisses you off.
Yeah.
Ah,
Do you
that's
agree the Roy Batty Pris relationship? It kind of reminds me of like the Joker Harley
it does,
relationship.
yeah. As in, one's always sort of craving affection more, sort of thing.
Yeah, and she's gymnastic and a bit kooky.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that was a similar dynamic. Maybe that was an inspiration for the creation of her.
Yeah, there was one scene where Pris runs away in order to gain the trust of Sebastian,
Yes.
and she just crashes into a van.
Yeah.
And like this is a piece of trivia for you. She actually slammed her hand through, or her elbow through real glass when
Really?
she ran into that truck.
That's dedication.
Not intentionally.
Oh, I thought you meant like she like cracked the window or something.
No, I mean she ran into it, slipped on the wet ground, fell into it, chipped her elbow in 8 places.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's intense.
Jeez, that is intense. Ridley Scott was like, "It's fine.
It's fine.
Keep going.
Keep rolling.
Keep rolling." Yeah.
Well, it seems like they did keep rolling.
Do you like Ridley Scott as a director? Like he's a talented director.
I haven't seen many of his films. The Martian, I think, is the only other one I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen Alien.
No, me neither. Because we're good boys and we would never watch an 18.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. Have you seen an 18 before?
Is Ghost Rider an 18?
No.
Never mind then. So disappointed.
I wanted to talk to you about the enhance scene.
Yeah.
Where he just keeps yelling enhance at a TV.
Enhance! Yeah, that's weird.
I don't understand how he's able to make a Polaroid a 3D landscape.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
The woman that he ends up getting a photograph of wasn't in the image.
She's just there.
She's just there because he created some sort of 3D little world with his Polaroid.
Yeah. Do they ever like hint at like holographic sort of this is sort of related to that, but like holographic projections that we see with like Joy in Blade Runner 2049? I mean, I don't remember.
That's not really alluded to in the
like,
original.
do you think they could have introduced that with the Polaroid as well? Like a holographic projection of it?
Yeah, I suppose just the technology at the time of filming couldn't match up with the technology they were trying to pretend to create.
I think for what it's worth, like it does well at that, like creating a futuristic world.
Yeah, the flying cars I think are very impressive, but the thick as shit TV that he's yelling enhance at is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why directors in the 80s were able to imagine such things as robots and flying cars, but they couldn't.
Not TVs.
Not flat screen.
Yeah.
No, that would be ridiculous. Yeah, no, I've never understood that. Deckard eventually winds up, through his investigation, going to a strip bar. Yeah. And I'm just gonna put out there that I think this bar grossly misunderstands what people find sexy. They just have women in hockey masks and women.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Twirling snakes.
Yeah, like I mean that's the future. That's the future apparently, according to Ridley Scott. But I mean, yeah, it's just misunderstood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just way misinterpreted. That's probably like I don't know if that is the fault of Ridley Scott.
I don't know. It's his visual decision.
I mean, in that scene and in other scenes, like I think the set design's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Certainly.
it's very practical, and like it's not too reliant on effects, and I'm glad because if it was, it probably wouldn't be as good given the time.
But it's weird to me that it seems like such a classy bar, and then just in the back there's just a bunch of strippers getting ready
with some snakes.
Yeah, I don't understand that contrast because it seemed like quite an up class place, and then just in the corner there's people in cages wearing hockey masks.
It's like just pretend you just didn't see them. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Should we talk about Ford's nerd character?
Yeah.
Where he just puts on a voice with a woman he's never met. It's
action hero turned nerd. Like it's crazy.
It's the least convincing cover story I've ever heard.
Is that why you wanted to sort of suggest that he's not a good actor in this, or like?
Do you mean he's like Harrison Ford, a good actor, is playing a character who's a bad actor?
Like, yeah, do you think that's intentional? Or do you think that's just like?
I hope so.
To say that?
I think it is generous, but it's not impossible, I suppose. And I would respect him more if that was a conscious choice.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Sunday Movie said something similar in his podcast that just from memory, I always pictured that scene with him wearing glasses.
And he's not wearing glasses.
He's not wearing glasses.
It doesn't seem like he should be wearing glasses.
I was waiting for the moment where he puts the glasses on, and it never came.
Yeah.
Get out! Get out!
Can I keep that in?
Yep.
Okay. So as you were.
I don't know why she needed such a distraction technique that she had to get her breasts out.
I know. It's like it's almost as if this film was like, we're at 15, we can show breasts.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like really weird.
Blade Runner 2049 also goes with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it does. Like, do you think what was that? You're not complaining?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just the strip scene's weird in general, isn't it?
It is.
It's a really out of place scene in the movie.
Yeah. One piece of technology I'm surprised that we don't have is the standing hairdryer, where her hair just gets blasted
It's
into a
just,
hairdo.
it's instantly dry.
Instantly dry
and hair.
and coiffed.
Yeah, like
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
oh, yeah, I love the boy band quiff,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Big
Yeah,
time.
I mean, what did I want to sort of mention? I mean, the Zora slow mo fall.
I have
is...
it written. I imagine you laughed at the slow mo death scene.
Yeah.
Because every time there's a slow mo in a movie, Matthew just finds it hilarious.
I don't know what it is. I was watching.
And it's such a bloody death, and it's just crashing through glass.
I was watching like Harry Potter, Philosopher's Stone, when spoiler, Harry's parents die, and it's hilarious, and it's in slow mo.
Is that a spoiler?
I mean, yeah, probably. But like, yeah, I mean, it's just I have Zora slow mo fall is hilarious, but also it's great visuals during Zora's shootout with Deckard
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of just carelessly shooting into a crowd.
in the street.
Yeah.
Like I was so straight. I was just like, Deckard, you're like, you're the LAPD.
It's quite a big gun as well.
It's huge. It's like a huge pistol. Yeah, I thought that was strange, but also hilarious. I don't know if that's the film showing its age or not. When she's like going through the glass and stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the moral implications of dating a replicant.
Yeah. Oh yes, we do like to have moral implications of films. Don't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, shoot.
Well, in my opinion, they're
There's
not
nothing wrong
they're
with
not
it.
human. No, I'm going the other way,
Are you-
Matthew. They're not a
You were
human.
like, they're not human. They're more. It's fine.
No, they're not a human. Don't date a not human.
Okay.
What about you?
I think if the attraction's there, go for it.
Yes,
I mean,
son.
if they're both, let's say Rachel and Deckard, for example, because it happens.
Yes.
I think it's fine.
But see, there's two sides, because she is programmed with emotions, so she has emotions, but they have been programmed. So having emotions means that she deserves to consent, but the fact that her emotions are programmed means that she doesn't have thoughts over her
I just
body.
find it really strange that the replicants are made with the ability to reproduce. Aren't they?
She is the only one.
Oh, is she?
Yes, because she was.
Even still, that's a weird thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
just
we
one.
can get into it further with Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, but no, I think if you know,
You think go for it?
I think like obviously in an ideal world, like her emotions aren't programmed and she feels them naturally. But then that goes into the aspect of if she can feel emotions naturally, then it would be more than an artificial intelligence, if you know what I mean. Like computers
Yeah.
aren't supposed to feel emotions, but I mean if they're programmed, then yeah, it does raise an issue. But I think ideally it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like if the theory that Deckard is a replicant.
Should we talk about it?
Yeah, well, we
Okay.
could just go straight for it. I mean, with the memories and stuff.
Okay. So you were saying?
No, it's just that, like if the theory, obviously Ridley Scott envisioned like that in his original cut that Deckard was supposed to be a replicant.
It's heavily implied.
Like, it's probably not as bad if it was a human and a replicant whose emotions were programmed. Which mean because that would mean his emotions would have been programmed, right?
Do you mean it's better if he's
Yeah.
a replicant?
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like way better.
I mean, yeah, that is probably a strong argument that he is a replicant, because humans, for the most part, probably aren't attracted to replicants. So maybe there's a sort of pheromone connection between replicants.
Yeah.
So that is certainly an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Should we just go into the full
Yeah,
full on
go
discussion
ahead.
of is Deckard a replicant? What is your opinion?
I
on
just
that?
think it's weird that the conglomerate tech company
Yeah,
that would
the Tyrell Corporation.
would create a replicant who is programmed to retire other replicants.
Yes,
Very
I
strange.
agree.
Like unless they're trying to cover their tracks with things or rewrite wrongdoings. I mean, they clearly have if they've programmed a replicant to kill all other replicants.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it could be argued that, say, Roy Batty doesn't remember being made because they have implanted memories.
Mhm.
So I suppose the Tyrell Corporation maybe were handed memories by the police, and then they just put them in without knowing that the police wanted to make a replicant killing machine.
I think I would have probably preferred the romance if it was a human. If Deckard was a human.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that sort of makes it sort of
A bit more saucy.
a little more sweet because he's putting his own like instructions from the LAPD to turn all replicants aside to pursue a love life with Rachel, which I think
The most bland person I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
What about her does he like?
I don't know, but I think
Her high collars.
Strangely enough, the Deckard and Rachel romance isn't the one that I like the most. It's actually Joy and Kay's.
Oh well,
From
we'll
Blade Runner
absolutely
2049.
talk about it, my friend.
Like that's a big talk. That's probably the biggest talking point for the episode I have for that.
Okay.
Which is strange, but yeah, I mean, I think I don't know what do you think?
Similar to your point, I don't think he is a replicant because if they want to retire Rachel and she's so obedient, clearly that means that they're not even accepting of positive replicants.
Yes.
At this point in time, because obviously we see replicants working for the police in 2049.
With Kay.
Yeah, but in this film,
Wait, I can't remember in 2049. Did the police know Kay's a replicant?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah, but yeah, if they want Deckard to retire Rachel, I think she could have been an asset for the police.
Yes.
So I think if they were willing to work with replicants, then they would have worked with her.
It could have been a good intro into Kay in 2049, whereas like Rachel was at the end of the movie like taken on by the LAPD.
Maybe.
So to suggest that LAPD is employing replicants now.
Well, at the end of I can tell you the alternate theatrical ending. Once we get to the ending of this cut, but yeah, I just want to talk about Leon.
Leon, I was going to mention Leon versus Deckard.
Did you enjoy that fight?
I thought it was terrible. Is that no? I can't remember. Is that the one where Rachel shoots him in the head?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
just like a slap of red on his head.
There's a few. Yeah. There's a few lines like Play-Doh. There's a few lines here I've got. Nothing is worse than an itch you can never scratch, and also wake up, time to die. This is one of my favorite lines.
No, but
it's not a good. I mean, it's a good action scene, but also
I think the time to die is a positive because obviously that's foreshadowing for part of Roy Batty's monologue.
Yeah.
Because the replicants are all about prolonging their own lives and evading death.
In relation to that point, I can't remember if this was like a key element of the film or not, or whether I completely misunderstood the scene. But I've put heartbreaking realization that some replicants don't live as long as humans. Would I be correct in saying that? Like some replicants have a limited lifespan.
Yes, the Nexus 6s have a 4-year lifespan, and Deckard doesn't actually know what model of Nexus Rachel is, so he doesn't know whether she has the 4-year lifespan, so that kind of adds a bit of drama to their relationship.
Yeah, I just thought that was quite, because obviously with Roy is a limited lifespan.
Yes.
Because he's one of the Nexus 6, and as long as Zora and Pris and stuff.
Yes.
But like, I don't know, I just thought it's quite sad, because like, they're so genetically modified and engineered to be similar to humans, and yet they can never be because they only have a 4-year lifespan.
Yeah, but I suppose that's good that they have the implanted memories because they feel that they've lived a life. Yeah,
yes, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah, I see. When it's Rachel that kills Leon, so surely if the police saw that, they would see that she isn't, in alliance with the other replicants.
Yes.
So she could be used as an asset for the police.
Yes, that is a good point. That they just don't.
And if she has the 4-year lifespan, then good, it's sorted. They don't even have to kill her. They can just wait until she is retired herself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably plot hole in itself there.
Yeah.
As well.
I want to talk about the most uncomfortable scene in the film.
I think I might also have it.
Deckard forcing himself on Rachel.
Yeah. Well, that's one of them.
It's the most uncomfortable I've ever been in the cinema before in my life.
It's weird.
And I saw Deadpool with my dad.
I saw it with my mum.
Yeah. Woo. But I just saw this film and I felt so awkward. Because he like shoves her against a wall, which Harrison Ford actually shoved Sean Young way too hard, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, he apparently I think that was the take that they did use. He like shoved her really violently.
Do you think Harrison Ford is a successful actor to do intimate scenes?
How do you mean?
Like, do you think he's like good at like physical
being
action?
Sexy?
Yeah. I mean, obviously went way overboard there with like the shove in the wall. I mean.
And then he just like...
He's really getting into character.
He shuts the door in her face.
Yeah, like, it's weird. But
yeah.
I was uncomfortable.
And he was just like coaching her on what to say to him.
Yeah.
It was so gross to me.
One of the scenes I have, which is it's a bit later, but the kiss scene between Roy Batty and Tyrell.
Oh yeah.
It's just weird. I thought it was a strange thing to include.
See, I thought he was going in for tongue. but it was just a peck, but it was his fingers covering his mouth.
Yeah.
But then it turns into him gouging.
I have no
Tyrell's
problem
eyes.
with it. It's just the way the execution of the kiss was a little weird, wasn't it? Like do you know what I mean? Like the face clamp, so to speak.
What do you mean? Because he just called him father and he's like sucking face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel so bad for Sebastian, honestly, because
Me too.
he's trusting and he's gullible, and
People just take advantage of him.
I'm always upset to see them taking advantage
Yeah,
of
me
in
too.
films,
Yeah.
especially Pris. You know, sort of, you know, controlling him with her sexuality almost.
Hmm. Well, I've seen the horror aspect of Deckard versus Pris. It's quite a horror-esque battle, and it's quite.
Shoots her like 6 times.
Yeah, like it's in the middle of the street, isn't it? Oh, it's not in the street, is it?
No, that's in Sebastian's
Oh yeah.
abandoned building. But I just wanted to talk to you about Rutger Hauer,
Okay. Yeah.
who unfortunately died recently.
Yeah.
Which is very sad because honestly, he
I
is
saw
one
that
of
in
my
an article. Like he's generally great.
yeah, he is one of my favorite film antagonists I've ever seen.
I think he's one of the all-time greats,
Yeah, I counted. He has about 5 scenes in this film.
and he plays him with perfection, really.
Yeah, he is absolutely robbed of screen time, but he makes such an impression,
Mhm.
and I was so impressed by his performance.
Couldn't agree more.
I wanted to give you another piece of trivia. Ridley Scott actually cast him without meeting him,
Really?
and as a joke, Rutger Hauer like came in wearing like a ridiculous outfit to like scare the shit out of him. So like he was wearing like pink shorts.
He just didn't know what he looked
He was
like.
like wearing no. He had seen his films and really loved him, but he obviously didn't have a gauge for Hauer's personality.
Okay.
So Hauer just came in wearing like a tank top and
Seriously?
pink shorts just to
Wow.
mess with him, and I really respect that
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
because
there?
he's sort of like an intimidating behemoth,
Yeah.
and just
He's a big, muscly.
he's a bit Dolph Lundgren-esque. I
Yeah,
think.
he is. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would have been just a funny visual to see that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One thing I also wanted to point out was, well, you know when Roy's breaks Deckard's fingers through the wall.
Yes.
It's really brutal.
Yeah.
There's one. I don't mind like guts and gore in films, but like seeing
Yeah.
bones snapping, I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's a problem for me.
Uh,
I was wondering, you're not. I mean, yeah, sometimes you're a bit grossed out by gore, right? How
Sometimes.
did you think of the eye gouging scene?
I mean, for its time, it's excellent, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Oh, I mean, it's certainly very well executed. I just was wondering, was it a bit too visceral for you?
what rating is this?
A 15.
I think it probably pushes the boundaries, and if it hasn't overstepped the line, but close.
I think it goes on for for a bit too long.
It is brutal.
But I enjoyed it. Honestly.
You're like.
In your opinion, is the final standoff intentionally comical? Because there were 2 points that I wanted to point out.
Batty and Deckard.
Yes,
Yeah.
at one point he
Head through the wall.
Roy pushes his own head through the wall, and then it just cuts to like Roy breaks Deckard's fingers, and then the next scene you see like he's just running around in his pants.
Yeah. I think it's. I mean, it's.
I think it's unintentional. I think it's just meant to show the Roy's just batshit crazy.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to mention the tears and rain?
Well,
We'll get there.
I have one more moment that I
Yeah.
wanted to mention.
Shoot.
The dove fondle. He's just stood there stroking a dove,
Yeah, it's a lovely looking dove.
which was apparently Rutger Hauer's
Pet.
no an improvisation on his part.
Oh, I would have been adorable if it was like a pet dove they had.
Oh well, speaking of pets, the snake of the stripper that was her pet.
Oh really?
Yes, Darling it was called.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know a lot about this trivia.
Oh yeah, big time.
Tears in the Rain might be the best sci-fi scene ever. Just saying.
Yes, I think it's probably my favorite monologue in film.
Yeah.
Which
We did mention the similarities between this and Idris Elba's death, and
yes, I saw similarities because they talked about decommissioning instead of death in Hobbs and Shaw. We should cut this out. That's a spoiler.
okay, yeah, I'll cut this out.
Yes, we both agreed that there were some parallels to this in a certain scene in Hobbs and Shaw, and I think that, I mean, obviously doesn't do as good a job, but I think both certainly show the pain and anguish of a life cut short, and I think Rutger Hauer does genuinely an amazing performance.
I think that monologue will go down in cinematic history forever. Like, he's such a talented actor, and I haven't even seen many of his films. In fact, it's the only film I've seen him in. I'll be honest.
He was
But-
in Batman Begins.
Oh, what? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even still, like, he's a fantastic actor.
He
Really,
is.
really fantastic.
Interesting accent. I don't know where he's from.
I was thinking sort of like Scandinavia, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Apparently, Philip K. Dick, who wrote The Android's Dream of Electric Sheep,
Yeah.
apparently all of the castings, apparently to him, were absolutely the characters.
Oh, really?
You-
So he's
you-
just saying that, or
No, because usually you see authors and maybe comic book writers really criticize the adaptations that come about, but it seemed that everything this film did he appreciated.
which that's a nice thing to hear as well.
Yeah, he said that Deckard and Roy especially encapsulated. He said Harrison Ford was Deckard and more. He was
Well, this was
really impressed
this
by
was in
Deckard.
the peak of Harrison Ford's career, wasn't it? Between Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Yeah, indeed.
So
So yeah, I suppose he wanted to see an action hero, and that's what he got.
very true.
But yeah, just the pain and anguish on Roy's face.
Yeah,
It
and
made me emotional.
One thing, actually, I'll mention it for 2049, but the fact that it's just raining as well.
It was raining outside my window as well while I was watching it, and
oh.
it was so thematic.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this movie's great.
It is
It
excellent.
took me a while to appreciate it, but
I didn't appreciate it when I first saw it, but watching it now, I absolutely loved it.
yeah. Did you want to save this before we finish it, just in case?
I'm not done, my friend.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say,
How many points? you got?
well, just a few. The Tears and Rain, for the most part, is improvised.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good score as well, Jonas.
Yeah, so Rutger Hauer obviously had such a huge,
Wow, it's actually
a huge
improvised as
impact.
well.
For the most part, I believe. Certainly the last line was his,
Wow.
and I really respect that.
Me too.
And at the end, we see Gaff, played by Edward James Olmos, talk to Deckard.
Mm.
But he had been talking to him in the language of the street before, so clearly he was just like messing with him.
Yeah, just,
like
like,
he could speak.
entertaining him.
He could speak English the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm just written.
I
Prick.
kind of like that.
I don't like that. He seems like a prick. I think that we need to talk about the biggest clue that Deckard is a replicant, and that's
Origami unicorn.
the unicorn. Yes. Was there some confusion for you around this?
Yeah, I mean it is obviously for the first time viewer. I think you're not going to pick up as much
Yeah.
sort of subtle hints, but I think upon rewatch it'll sort of tie back into
So do you
memories.
want me to maybe see if I can clear it up?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Even for the viewers as well.
Yeah,
I
so,
assume some viewers haven't seen it.
Especially in the universe of the novel, animals are essentially extinct. So
Oh, really?
In the yes,
And in the film,
in the film it's alluded to. The stripper says, what's her name, Zora?
Zora.
She says, do you think I'd be working in a place like this if I could afford a snake? They're clearly really high
quite,
market.
rare.
They're very rare, so they're almost extinct. So when Deckard in his dreams sees a unicorn, that implies that that's an implanted dream or an implanted memory because animals don't really exist for the most part. So it obviously in this universe there must be a bit of a fantastical element in that he dreams of a unicorn.
Yes.
So that implies that he is a replicant as that would have been implanted, and most people point to the fact that Gaff creates a unicorn is perhaps to mock Deckard because he knows that he's a
That's
replicant,
interesting.
and Deckard doesn't know that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So he creates the unicorn to tell
mess with him, sort of, in
to
a way.
mess with Deckard.
That's quite cruel, but also
It is really
it's
cruel.
a nice sort of like harkens back to the film.
Yeah.
It's just, it's I mean, I don't know. Do you have any?
Well,
concluding
I
points?
just wanted to tell you about how the theatrical cut ends.
Yes, please do.
So after Deckard comes and retrieves Rachel from his home, it's not ambiguous and he doesn't pick up the origami unicorn. They just jump in a car and ride.
So there's no origami unicorn at all.
Not to my memory. I think the unicorn dream was only added in maybe the director's cut.
Okay.
But yeah, they hit the open road and
Right
it's-
off in the sunset.
Yeah, it's upbeat music playing. They're in like
That would feel like
Yeah.
such a total departure from the Tears and Rain scene as well.
yeah, they're in like what's the opposite of urban? Rural. A really rural area, and it's actually a landscape taken from the Shining.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
they're like the sun's high in the sky, it's bright.
So I think I would have hated that.
Yeah, because that's not
Does everyone hate that, or is
everyone hates that. Everyone hates the theatrical cut, but Yeah, it just makes no sense because in the universe they've established that there doesn't appear to be any greenery, and it's meant to be like a grim, dark
I mean,
world.
if animals are extinct, I'd imagine the environment would be pretty ruined.
Yeah,
Actually, would it, or maybe would it flourish? I can't tell.
no, it'd be ruined, I guess, because you know.
Yeah, yeah, agriculture would suffer as well. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sort of glad I didn't watch the
Oh,
film cut.
I've never
or theatrical
I've never
cut.
seen the theatrical cut the whole way through, but yeah, it seems like trash. I'll be honest.
The director's cut's fantastic, though.
Well, this is the final
Oh,
cut.
sorry.
I haven't seen the director's cut. I think they're largely similar, but yes, this is the definitive cut. This is the one that Ridley Scott had full creative control of.
Yeah.
So this is the version that he's really proud of.
Hmm.
So those are all my thoughts.
Yeah,
Do you
are
wanna-
we gonna give a rating?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. For me, 8.5 out of 10.
I would give it a 9.
Would you?
Beautiful film.
Really beautiful film that covers so many themes. I mean, we have talked about it for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I would say for timing constraints as well, Blade Runner 2049 would probably be 15 minutes. I'd say 20 minutes. Review.
We don't have much to say.
No,
for this film.
just because it's just great.
I mean,
really like this
it
film.
is great, but almost nothing happens in it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just point A to point B to point C. It's uneventful but amazing.
Yeah.
So, you didn't actually see this film when it came out.
Did
so
you?
I did, yeah, but I had not seen any of the marketing, so I was not aware that apparently in the marketing they had portrayed that Kay was human. So it was a surprise.
I had mentioned that the giveaway that Kay is. Oh, sorry. Oh no, that's a different point. Well, it's sort of related to the marketing that they spoiled Decker's return
Well, they spoiled Deckard's
and
return,
that Kay is.
but
Oh, sorry.
no, I'm telling you how the marketing deceived people because Kay was portrayed as human, so it was a big surprise when people went in and found out that he was a replicant. But I obviously don't watch trailers, so I didn't know going in,
Yeah.
and I just assumed that he was a replicant because
What do you think? What do you think we would have preferred? Just to not just be honest with us, or give us that twist.
because it happened so early on in the film, it's just
Pointless.
not a twist.
Yeah.
It seems pointless to me to deceive viewers.
What are your opinions on spoiling that Harrison Ford comes back as Deckard, even though he's barely in the film
Well,
at all?
people knew that years in advance.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I mean, we'd known that. Like, that was not a surprise, but what was a surprise is how little he's in the film.
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
He has, I think he was given higher billing than Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
And he's maybe in it for 15 minutes. He's in, I think, two or three scenes.
Towards the end as well.
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest. But one thing I wanted to mention in this film is the cinematography.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen a film as visually striking as this ever.
No.
Like it's the scene at Deckard in Vegas where it's like Deckard's like the sandy,
The Wasteland.
amazing,
Yeah.
like genuinely amazing.
The director, Denis Villeneuve, is probably the best visual director I've ever seen. I mean, I hate Arrival. It's such a shit story, but visually it's breathtaking,
Yes,
which
haven't
I
seen
agree with this film.
One thing I wanted to mention is how Dave Bautista has really stepped up his game as an actor.
Yeah.
Like he plays a character called Sapper, and he's generally great. I think he's not in it much, obviously.
No, I feel quite sorry for him in this film
Me too.
because I don't understand why innocent replicants are retired.
But yeah, it seems quite cruel.
Because they say that, replicants are illegal.
He's just an innocent farmer.
Yeah, people say that replicants are illegal, but then you should arrest the person who created or bought them. You shouldn't retire the replicant whether they're innocent or not.
Exactly. Yeah.
You should deem their value and then decide whether they're a threat.
I think Ryan Gosling is a fantastic actor, especially in this.
I think this is probably his best performance, I would agree.
I would say this in La La Land for me.
Have you seen La La Land?
Most of it. Clips on YouTube now. What else is he in? He's in another. Is he in? Crazy Stupid
He's in
Love?
The Notebook, Crazy Stupid Love. A few of my
A
favorites.
few of your favourites.
I love Crazy Stupid Love.
I haven't seen it, but apparently he's great in it.
He is an excellent comedic actor, which you wouldn't expect from him.
Yeah.
He just has such a dry delivery that I think's sort of similar to mine at times.
Yeah, it is true. Like I think, just Kay as a character is really great.
Yeah.
I really like him. It's so
sure.
different to Harrison Ford's Deckard, but yet probably better. I
Yeah.
think he's more interesting, compelling character.
Should we talk about his romance with Joy?
That's as I said previously in the episode. Like this is the theme I have to discuss most about, and the implications of real or artificial love.
Oh, I was so sad because in the trailer they had portrayed that she was, artificial, but I assumed she was a replicant.
Yeah.
But in this film, it turns out she's
Hologram.
holographic. which is
Can he actually touch her? I can't remember. I think he
no,
can.
no, he can't, because that's why he has to have sex with Mariette,
Oh, okay.
because it's sort of it's labeled as a threesome, but really it's Joy covering Mariette, so he can have sex with Joy. Really,
Is like, do you think, is she emotionally programmed?
she is programmed like Joy is the same for every person who buys her. She has the same emotional connection, which is kind of upsetting.
That kind of ruins it for me.
Really?
Yeah. Although one thing I wanted to mention, Joy's holographic device when it's crushed,
Yeah.
it's just so like deadpan. It's just like I love you, and she's never seen again.
Yeah.
It's so brutal. Like it's really sad.
I don't understand why in a world where they can create replicants, why does Joy need a Wi-Fi router?
Yeah, it's just quite like
Surely you can like have a watch or something.
yeah, not like a little pen that requires.
Yeah.
yeah, true. Yeah, I mean the real or artificial love, the aspect that obviously Kay has bought Joy, who's probably a multi-million like.
Yes, we see that
Dollar
she's obviously a big brand with her.
Do you think she's the same for
hologram in
everyone?
the city.
Do you think she's the same for everyone?
I think she is programmed to just affectionately love whoever purchases her.
That she looks the same for everyone, or is...
I think at the moment where he changes her from being in his home to being in like it's called the Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
I think she develops some level of independence of thought and feeling.
Because she's an AI, right?
She's an AI, but I think maybe when she's domesticated, she just fits the like level that she's programmed at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she develops when she leaves the domestic space.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to get right into the big twist of the film about Deckard and Rachel's daughter.
Sure.
It's revealed that it's Dr. Stelling. Is her name?
I just wrote Anna.
Anna. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, she is the one who's been programming replicants' memories.
Yes.
And then it's revealed at the end of the film that she is the daughter, and she implanted the memory of the toy horse into the replicants.
What a bitch.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you at any point in the film believe that Kay was the child, though?
I mean,
because I think they spend too much of the film pretending
this father-son dynamic.
Yeah, they try to develop a dynamic that I sensed wasn't real. There was no point where I thought that he was Deckard's
I don't
child.
think the father and son dynamic, even I'm
It
glad they
doesn't work
didn't
for
do it.
me.
It just doesn't work at all.
No.
I think Ryan Gosling, credit to him, he's a fantastic actor, but I don't know whether he's an emotional actor or not.
No,
Like,
he's not.
He's just so deadpan, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's part of his humor, though.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think he can convey like a loving son who's willing to do anything for his father. You know, it's not that
No.
type of character or actor, really.
But also, just logically, it seemed to me that you're a replicant. Has your dad texted you?
No, but
No.
my mum's texted me to remind him to collect me.
Okay. I mean, you know that you're a replicant. You know that artificial memories are possible.
Yeah.
Why do you think, oh, I have a memory of early childhood, I was born? It just, the logic doesn't connect with me.
Yeah, like, it is strange that they went to do that twist to suggest that, all replicants' memories have been programmed with the same, like...
All replicants in this Nexus line?
Yes,
is it?
yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I think the twist works, but the fact that...
The plot line works, but I don't think it works as a twist because it's not unexpected.
Yeah, it's
Because I fully expected for the entirety of the film that he wasn't Deckard's child.
What do you think of Love as the main villain?
She's the henchman of Jared Leto.
Well, yeah.
I before we mention that, I wrote a sentence.
Yep.
I said, I'm almost impressed that with such little screen time, Jared Leto manages to project such a black cloud over this film. He's so shit. It's probably his...
He's buried in it. And he's in the trailer.
He's in 2 scenes of the film, I believe, and he is god awful.
I like Jared Leto, but
why?
in general, like
Every
he's a weird
time
guy.
me and my dad see a film with Jared Leto, he just goes, "Oh, he was shit, wasn't he?"
I think he's a good Joker. I think he's fine.
No.
He's fine. I mean, he's definitely done some weird things to
he-
get in character.
He matches the interpretation that the director provides him with. It's just that interpretation is not how I would see it.
Yeah. But like,
So he perfectly encapsulates the character that Denis Villeneuve wanted, but I just don't like that character, I suppose.
well, one thing I wanted to mention is I think Love as the henchman is decent.
Yeah.
Especially when she crushes Robin Wright's hand, It's
Yeah.
brutal. And then, yeah, I mean, love is like the actress who plays her. I've heard that all the evil replicants in this are Dutch,
Right.
which is weird. But like she does some like weird kung fu kicks.
I
I've
believe
noticed.
that's Hannah John Kamen, isn't it, from Ant-Man and the Wasp?
That's another one. It's a different one. It's not her. I think
Is
that's Love. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think her name's like Sandy or something. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that the action scenes in general are nail biting, aren't they? Like they're generally great. For limited as they may be.
I don't know. Sorry, words. Yeah, I don't know that I agree, because I would say there's about 3 action sequences in this film. There's like 2 fisticuffs and then there's 1 shootout.
Yeah.
And I think that they're all pretty
To be fair,
like
from
they're not bad.
when Kay discovers Deckard, from then on it's sort of like one continuous big battle scene, isn't it? Really, from when he
Yeah.
gets abducted and stuff. I mean, I don't know. Did you want to go in to mention that now? The ending battle sort of fight scene.
Sure, I don't have much to say.
Her,
launch it.
you know, her death is. I think it's really brutal. When Kay is like holding underwater,
Oh.
it's great. But I think there is a certain irony of replicants dying surrounded by water.
Okay.
Like just the
Do you mean sort of the water of the womb?
but that and also like
How they're not actually born, they're created?
yeah, and also the fact that Roy Batty describes his death in a way that evokes like the water imagery, and also he's dying amongst rain, and
Yeah.
also Love, who's the the antagonist of the movie, dies surrounded by water. I don't know if that's intentional or not.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I mean, that's all really I have to say. Apart from the orange color palette of the scene is fantastic, like for the cinematography.
Yeah. I mean, you wanted to mention about reproduction.
Yeah. How does like
That seems like, I mean, very much a step too far for technology.
I mean,
for
if they're
me.
both replicants, it doesn't really make any more sense whether he's a replicant or not. But the fact that
they
Rachel
can
is
the fact that they can
reproduce,
program, ovum and semen.
it seems weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm confident though. From memory, I'm confident that she is the only one that can reproduce, and that's why Jared Leto wanted to get his hands on it, on her remains, so that he could replicate the process.
Is it real that she's alive or dead?
She what?
Rachel.
Rachel's dead.
Yeah.
But-
4-year lifespan or.
No, she died during childbirth, so it's never actually revealed
I don't
whether
like
she
that cliche of like mother dies in childbirth in sci-fi movies.
Yeah, do you think it's perhaps sort of a Frankenstein illusion?
Oh, with Mary Shelley's mother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dying in childbirth and
That's interesting.
sort of the creation of the monster.
Because this film does have quite a few like sort of relations to that, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
Frankenstein. That's actually really interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't think of that before. That's cool.
But yeah, I'm against that kind of advance of
Me
technology.
too. Yeah. I don't think it would work. It would even work in real life society. Like there'd be very many people against that.
No, and to my knowledge, Nexus 6 were the first line of replicants that were given the 4-year lifespan. So surely before that, replicants were made and then they aged, because they have they're bioorganic. So surely you could just make a replicant baby and then have it grow up. What does it matter that it's
Anna
born?
though would be born as a replicant, right?
Anna was born as a replicant.
But then that doesn't make sense
So
because
she's a replicant baby.
But that doesn't make sense because I don't think you can't program replicant like.
Yeah, because now she has like half the programming of Rachel and half of Deckard, if he is even a replicant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that.
I mean, if she's a new line of replicants, then I assume, as in she's like the first
Yeah.
ever replicant baby, as you said. So
Yeah, so they wanted to keep that concept hidden so that like a war wouldn't begin.
do you think this film will have a sequel?
I don't think so, because it was financially unsuccessful, unfortunately. Because I'm not satisfied with the ending. Because
Why?
well, Kay is
I feel bad for him.
heavily
at the end.
wounded. Oh yeah, he loses everything, because he loses joy. He loses a possible familial connection. He's not special. It's kind of devastating, isn't it? And then
He's just
and then he
just
has
another
to
replicant, isn't
he
he?
has to watch like a Blade Runner mentor, Deckard, actually meet his real child. Yeah, I feel
It's,
really bad
it's,
for
it's
him.
just the you know the scene where he's just like sitting up at the steps in the snow. It's just sad, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
that sort of evokes the Tears in Rain sort of.
Yeah.
You know, but
It's possible that he dies as well.
because he's pretty badly wounded.
He's very badly wounded. So, in your opinion, do you think he survived that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Probably. I mean, he probably will buy another Joy, but then that's quite sad, isn't it? In
Yeah,
itself?
I don't want her to be replaced.
Yeah, I know.
I had an emotional connection to Joy.
Yeah, me too. Like I really like that romance, but it's just she died. She did.
She did.
Ratings?
Probably 9 out of 10 again.
Me too. 9 out of 10. I really love this film.
If I had to give one the edge, I would give it to the original Blade Runner.
Okay, I would probably give mine to this one just because I think if the original came out with better mic quality and better
Yes.
visuals, they would have got it.
I think visually, obviously, this one is superior because of the era it's made in.
Yeah,
But I think storytelling wise, there's actually more going on in the first one.
yeah, because more happens. Nothing really happens in 2049, does it?
No,
Apart from
it's not,
Deckard and his daughter. Sorry.
yeah, it's kind of just you're following characters as they're meandering through a plot. You know, it's not
Yeah.
eventful, but
Mhm.
that doesn't make it bad.
Yeah. We'd like to thank everyone for. I'll let you do the outro, but we'd like to thank everyone for listening. Yeah.
What else is there to say? But thank you, Matthew, for coming to Casa de Calum.
It's been an honour,
Thank you, sir.
as always.
And Matthew's now awaiting a lift, so
Yep, my dad.
He bet he can't wait to get away.
To edit.
Oh yeah, to edit. He's going on a road trip.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so my granddad and I are going over to England
Hitting
to
the road.
help my uncle out. You know.
That sounds a bit ominous.
It does. I'll rephrase it. Yeah, my granddad and I are going over to England. I'll keep it in. Yeah, no, my granddad and I are going over to England because my uncle's moving over here, which should be good fun. And yeah, like we'd like to thank everyone for listening.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Callum has been a delight. He's offered his home to record again.
Yeah. We got very wet earlier.
Drenched.
In rain.
Yeah.
Tears in rain.
Yeah.
I cried on the way.
See you today.
But
yeah.
Matthew's currently he's looking good.
You're looking good.
Thank
He's
you,
rocking the
sir.
NCS hoodie. We don't
Yeah.
usually open up in outros. Maybe this is something we should do.
Yeah, you know.
Try and extend it to an hour. We're in 57.
Yeah, come on.
57:34. So
No, but we would like to thank all of you for listening.
yeah, absolutely.
Once again, tell your friends,
Tell your
lads.
friend. Yeah, like, subscribe, share, do all the good stuff, and we will catch you on the flip side. Now I'm gonna rephrase that. Yeah, no, like seriously, guys. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch you.